draw-dependent matchup here, as Daze and Spell Pierce are measures that Bargo can use to defend himself when he's on the play. On the draw, he's just very vulnerable to the best openings that Heiser has. Only Force of Will is protection.
And it is Heiser. I do apologize, Andrew, as we are underway here in game number 1 of round number 6. Bargo going to start things off with a Ponder off of a tropical island.
To page this name, Mr. Brian Rockenbach. To table 227.
Take a look at the top 3 cards here. Will Bargo. Those cards are going to stay on top. Bargo's going to keep with the Ponder. Picks up a copy of Daze. We'll pass the turn back over to Heiser. Seething Song to draw.
You can already see how much the die roll matters here. Craig able to cast a cantrip on the first turn of the game and find a Daze. On the draw, that doesn't get to happen.
Sandstep Needle might be a new one for a couple people, including Craig.
Sandstone Needle.
Excuse me, you're right. Sandstone Needle. There are some depletion counters on that old boy. It's a juicy target for a Wasteland.
Cycle of these lands in Mercadian Masks.
All right, so as Craig takes his turn, I'm going to test you right now. I'm going to test you. I'm going to test our director, too. We're going to get ready. Blue one.
Is it...
this is literally why we pay you.
Saperson Scary or something like that?
We'll have to go to the tape. Brainstorm done resolving. Here's a Misty Rainforest. It's going to search up a volcanic island.
I believe the black one is Peat Bog.
You are also correct. You're doing good. Do you know the green one?
The green one, is it? No, it's not Havenwood Battleground.
Nope.
That's the Fallen Empires one.
That's correct.
Give me a moment to think about that.
You know the white one.
Remote Farm.
That's correct. 4-4. 1 to go, baby. As here's a Delver Secrets. Don't let us down now. I already know. How do I know all 5 of these? There's the farm. Boom. Yeah. That's the white one.
It's remote. You can see it's in the background. Yep. Pretty well named.
Here's the City of
I
Traders.
don't have it. I'm not going to be able to get it.
Hickory Woodlot.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be here all day.
Oh, heartbreaker.
Yep. Here's a Seething Song. Uh-oh. Can't daze that. There's the Woodlot. Look at it. It's beautiful. There's a big axe in a tree. It's good artwork.
It's being depleted as we speak.
Yeah.
You can only do that so many times before you run out of trees.
Daze on the Seething Song. Heiser going to pay.
He's got 4 mana in his pool.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig, I need to take a look at this thing again.
No, it's not a mountain that comes into play tap that you can only tap twice. It makes 2. It makes 2 when you tap it.
It does. It does make 2 when you tap it. Now the song is resolved.
Do you know what card this was good at powering out in Standard?
Oh, was it Sneak Attack?
Sneak Attack is not a bad answer. The answer we were looking for is Stone Rain.
Oh, that makes sense.
Pillage will also play.
Well, Sneak Attack has just been cast, and there's a red mana floating from Seething Song. That's neat. That's fun. That's also kind of fun. So here's Inferno Titan, and there's the battlefield trigger. Kill your Delver and deal 2 to you.
But
Haste, attack, 3 to you, and then 6 to you.
But this is not a lock.
It feels like a lock.
You know, Heiser still needs help from here is all my point is.
That's true.
It's not like you got hit from Emrakul where you lost everything. It's just, all right, your creature's dead and probably going to be good enough.
Likely an active Sneak Attack against the Temur Delver deck that can't get it off the board is likely going to be good enough, yes.
But it's not quite a lock just yet, though I believe Heiser has another copy of Inferno Titan just waiting to get out there. But this is my point about the deck being vulnerable to Force of Will sometimes. You have draws that are just, I have one thing, and if you can answer it somehow, I don't have anything else going on.
Bargo going to play a Ponder here. A Trop, a Wasteland, a Mystery card. None of those going to be too helpful right now.
Well, you can Wasteland the Sandstone Needle and hope that there's no red mana in Heiser's hand.
That's true.
That's something.
That's true. Unfortunately for Craig, he's already played land for the turn.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah, it's off the table.
Now he just has to hope there's nothing in Heiser's hand, which this deck that does have that problem a good percentage of the time.
Ponder done resolving. Heiser will draw. Picked up another copy of Sneak Attack. He's going to use the depletion counter, 2 red mana. Activate Sneak Attack. Titan.
And Fire Breathing.
Yes.
With the mana left over.
Yep, that's just good deck building. That is going to do it. Andrew Heiser's going to win game number 1 here over Craig Bargo. Mono Red Sneak Attack. Up a game here over Temur Delver. The power of Sneak Attack shines through.
I love watching mono red sneak attack because the blue cards are kind of like cheating. You just have a lot of ways to fix your variance, improve your draw. Here it's just, what do I have in my opening hand? Is that good enough or not? It's a much more high variance, but potentially much faster deck.
It was good enough that game. That's why Heiser's up again. We take a look at the sideboards here for both players. We're going to start with Bargo, given that he is on the play. Pivot Needle, Grab Trigger's Cage, 2 Rough and Tumbles, a Sulfur Elemental, 2 Submerges, a Crow's and Grip, a Vendilion Click, a Sylvan Library, Life in the Loam, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Flusterstorms.
So the Flusterstorms are very good in this matchup. A lot of rituals in Heiser's deck. I think the 1 copy of Pithy Needle, also a good answer to sneak attack. And the 1 copy of Vendilion Click, Heiser's going to have a lot of hands where there's 1 critical card, and if Bargo can snag it with the Vendilion Click, he can be in a very good spot.
Other side of things here for Heiser, he's got Nash and Rider, 3 Trinispheres, 3 Maggots of the Moon, 2 Defense Grid, 2 Fairy Macabre, 2 Shattering Spree, and 2 copies of Pyroclasm.
Give me those Maggots of the Moons, give me the Defense Grids, and I'll take the Trinispheres too. It's a really good setup.
Yeah, Trinisphere is pretty well positioned in this matchup if it resolves.
And I like the way that this is constructed. There's some matchups where Trinisphere or Maggots of the Moon are not going to be that disruptive, but they are excellent against a classic player. So having him in the sideboard where you can bring him in as appropriate, I like taking that path rather than loading up on cards like Maggots of the Moon and Trinisphere and hoping they're good game 1.
Well, those are the options there for both players. In the meantime, we're going to talk about SCG Game Night, the very popular promotion. Thanks to you guys at home for playing it. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. In the month of October, we've got our hippos. Not a lot of time left to get this bad boy, but October, November, and December, plenty of stuff to acquire.
And we have those kits announced already. This is available for a couple more weeks, assuming your store has Game Night, and it's very easy for them to get Game Night set up over at StarCityGames.com/Game Night. This is the November kit coming down the pipeline. If you want to get signed up for December, head over to StarCityGames.com/Game Night for more information. Contact your in-store play representative. And for you Canadian players out there, we are changing the shipping rates now. It'll be domestic shipping to get the kits over to you. I know this has been an issue with us getting Canadian stores to occasionally sign up for the program. So if you're a Canadian player and you want to bring Game Night to your store, contact your local store. Let them know that the shipping rates have changed.
We get ready here for game number 2 between Craig Bargo and Andrew Heiser. Teamer Delver, a legacy mainstay, mono red sneak attack, anything but. But the options here are pretty good for this sort of deck. I mean, at the end of the day, you are kind of a painter style deck in which you're trying to just do something busted as fast as possible, and red does open you up to those options.
Yeah, and you get some very explosive openings with things like turn 1 Chalice or turn 1 Blood Moon, where it just doesn't matter if the rest of your draw goes nowhere. Those openings are good enough to beat a good percentage of opponents. Chalice, for one, so good in Legacy. The format's so fast, and Brainstorm and Ponder are defining cards. The issue with Chalice of the Void is just when you have it in your deck, you really can't play with 1 casting cost spells yourself. But the upside is definitely worth it, assuming that you have Chalice in your opening hand.
So we're going to see some more sneak attack action here in just a moment. Haven't seen actually sneak and show. It feels like it's been forever since we've seen that deck on camera, man.
I agree. And it's got pushed out of the format for a little while when Omniscience became the dominant show and tell deck. I would expect to see more sneak and show than mono red sneak attack. Should be poised for a bit of a resurgence now with Dig Through Time banned.
Dig Through Time Stranglehold on this format is over. That and Treasure Cruise. Best Delve cards now appear to be Gurmag Angler. Maybe Murder's Cut as a 1 or 2 of.
Yep. Tombstalker is probably not horrible.
Yeah, flying's powerful.
Flying can be powerful.
Can't forget about that.
Become Immense has its matchups.
Also
decks
true.
where it's very, very good.
Just further proof that Delve is a very powerful mechanic. Almost every Delve card from Construct here is seeing play.
Well, it's a tough mechanic. If you're going to make them good in Standard, and some of them were clearly designed to be good in Standard, in formats with, I guess it's the fetch land volume is about the same, but when you have Brainstorm and Gataxian Probe and Ponder and other self-milling effects to make Delve cards more reliable, the ones that are good in Standard are likely to be great in the larger formats, and that's what we've seen.
Well, both players will take a look at their opening hand here. We'll be underway in game number 2 in just a moment. Craig Bargo will have the option to play first.
Pretty important, as we saw.
Oh, you think so? Nimble Mongoose is where Bargo's going to start things. Uh-oh. We got an Ancient Tomb here. And that's a Chalice on 1.
Yeah, that resolved.
Oh, boy.
This is big-time trouble.
It's not game over, but it can be bad. All right, there's a Daze. Whew. Yeah, one of the things that's actually kind of nice about this mono red sneak attack deck and decks that kind of operate like this is they do present a very difficult to answer question right away.
And you hear the term test spell thrown out there. what's so good about Mono Red Sneak Attack in this matchup is almost all the spells they try to cast win the game or almost win the game on their own if they resolve. And you have so many cards that are like that that at some point they're just going to run out. It's hard to answer everything. When you're already being tested on turn 1, answer this or you're dead. And the same thing is likely to happen on turn 2 and on turn 3. It's hard to answer everything.
Numa Mongoose came across for 1. That's why Heiser's down to 17 now. The follow-up here for Bargo is a Pithing Needle, so we'll see what he wants to name with that. Likely Sneak Attack, but we'll get confirmation. And he does go with Sneak Attack. Makes a lot of sense given how the last game played out. Sandstone Needle comes down with its 2 depletion counters. Here comes the Mongoose again. And now there's Tarmogoyf. It appears we have an instant and an artifact in the graveyard. So 2-3 right now. Another Ancient Tomb. Painful mana base. Now, the problem here is that for Andrew, he's got a copy of Blood Moon in hand, which is great, obviously, but Craig's already on the board. Now, he might actually have like he might have Infernal Titan here?
Inferno Titan plays.
Very much plays. Oh, through the breach. Take a look at this one, too.
I suggest countering this if you can.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not a thing you should let resolve. He does have a mana floating, too, so he's playing through days.
I think Bargo's draw step last turn was Force of Will. So
I would use that. What's the worst that could happen? I could beat Inferno Titan. No!
Yeah, this is... I don't know what Bargo was thinking about there, but I'm glad that he countered it.
Yeah. The worst that could happen is you lose your entire board, Craig, for the record. Tarmogoyf's still going to stay as a 2-3. Nothing new added to the graveyard. Now we're going to go back Bargo's way. Not a really great clock here, though those Ancient Tombs are really going to start to add up.
Well, the good news here for Bargo is now he can beat Blood Moon because he can simply attack Heiser to death. He has enough of a clock. So some of the lock pieces like Chalice of the Void, Blood Moon, he doesn't care that much about. Other bad stuff can still certainly happen.
Absolutely.
But, there's at least an element of Heiser's deck that Bargo is now beyond.
Brainstorm found some good ones there in Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, and a Ponder. Got to put 2 back, of course. And Brainstorm done resolving. Here come the beatdowns, just for 3. So Heiser's going to fall down to 9. This means that Heiser really gets one more big shot at it, you know, because he's got 2 Ancient Tombs out there that are going to be kind of painful. So he's got enough life to work with, enough mana, and also if he wants red mana, he's got to lose the other depletion counter on his land. He gets one more big haymaker, it feels like. Let's see if it's a good one. Looks like he might be going the Blood Moon strategy. Okay. See if this resolves. Spell Pierce on this would actually be pretty good.
He either gets 2 damage for his trouble or the last counter leaves the Sandstone Needle.
So there goes the Needle. Blood Moon's in now. But Tarmogoyf gets to grow because there's a land in the graveyard. And I believe Bargo does have access to a Lightning Bolt here. And assuming that's the case, this one likely is over. Here's an attack for 4. Heiser should fall down to 3, and there's a Lightning Bolt. And that'll do it. So, Craig Bargo, Andrew Heiser, they're all tied up here 1-1 as Teamer Delver and Mono Red Sneak Attack get ready for game number 3. The good news here for Heiser, if we're rooting for him, is that he's on the play.
And this is the first game where we get to see Heiser on the play. Game 1, Heiser able to win anyway on the draw. Game 2, extremely important for Bargo to be on the play. I think if those hands are kept the same, but Heiser's on the play instead, that Bargo isn't even really able to get off the ground.
Well, take a look at the options here for both players here yet again as far as sideboarding is concerned. You see for Bargo, the Needle, which no surprise to see him bring that in. We might see Crows and Grip come in here, potentially Flusterstorm as well. Not sure if much changes since he's on the draw here.
No, Flusterstorm, you would imagine against a mono-red sneak attack deck would be very good. There aren't that many targets in Heiser's deck. You're really just looking at Through the Breach and Seething Song. Those cards are probably important enough where Bargo is willing to have it, and he just needs as much interaction as possible. But a lot of what Heiser is doing is through permanence. It's through Chalice of the Void, Lotus Petal, Sneak Attack, his lands, and then his big payoff creatures.
Other side of things here for Andrew. Again, I don't expect too much to change. We could see Magus of the Moon come in, though it is a little bit... it can die to Lightning Bolt. Like, it's good, but it's not great.
Yeah, I think I do definitely like Defense Grid and Trinisphere, especially with Heiser on the play. Turn 1 Defense Grid means that Heiser can go nuts. He can do whatever he wants. And an early Trinisphere is also problematic for Bargo to play through. Magus of the Moon is a little more dubious. As you mentioned, it is easy to kill with Lightning Bolt, and Bargo showed that he still had him in his deck for Game 2. But the upside of that card still may be worth it.
Well, these players will finish shuffling up here. Andrew will be on the play with his mono-red sneak attack deck. And we're going to talk about a little survey that we're running here, as we want to get some more information from you guys at home about our invitational qualifiers. It's a simple one, just 3 questions.
Exactly. You head over to go.starcitygames.com/IQ survey, answer just a couple questions, and everyone who submits an answer will be drawn for a raffle for a free box of Battle for Zendikar.
Simple stuff. 3 questions. You get your name into the raffle. Someone's going to win a free box of Battle for Zendikar. The raffle and all the stuff involved with this, the survey, all that stuff, done on Monday. So take a few moments out of your day if you can. Give us some feedback, because we want to have as much information possible from you guys at home and those of you who do play in the invitational qualifiers about what's best for those so we can make them the best we can moving forward.
It behooves everyone.
It's good for us.
It's good for you. Battle for Zendikar box just floating in the ether here.
There are just 36 Gideons.
To be given to someone.
All right, there are 35 Gideons, maybe.
Yeah, 36 Scalding Tarns, and they're just there. They're just waiting for you to own. You just have to go over to the website, answer some questions.
It's like that FanDuel commercial. So the only difference between them and me is that I played.
Yeah.
That's what they say in the FanDuel commercials. So the only difference, you want to be like the people in the FanDuel commercials. It's just, you're guaranteed to win, so just do the survey.
Yeah.
Everyone wins.
Everyone wins a box.
Yeah, literally everyone wins a box.
We need and then the small print, only one person wins a box.
Yeah.
The rest of you, well, you don't lose anything.
That's the promo code. Only one person wins a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. It looks like we're no longer going to be sponsored by FanDuel.
I think that's the least of FanDuel's problems.
I think you might be right.
Star City Games is going to be here in a couple years, you know?
It's unclear.
I think that's the least of FanDuel's problems.
It's unclear if Bradley C. from FanDuel will still be around. It's just tough. Tough to lose another sponsor like that.
When your opponent with this kind of mono-red sneak attack deck keeps their opening 7, it is
you think you're probably dead?
Quite stressful.
Yeah, you're probably dead.
This might be the kind of matchup where on the draw, Bargo has to go, I need a mulligan for Force of Will. It's just, the odds are just too high if Heiser keeps 7 cards that Bargo is going to be locked out of the game. Turn 1 Chalice, turn 1 Blood Moon. These are openings that Bargo can't beat without Force of Will.
If my opponent quickly keeps their 7 cards, I'm mulliganing for Force of Will.
It's almost like you're playing against Dredge.
Yeah.
And you just need a ley line.
Or Belcher or something. Yeah, I'm mulliganing for Force of Will. I don't want anything to do with the turn 1 Blood Moon or Chalice or other nonsense that you might have access to. It's just so unlikely, at least in my opinion, that, like your turn 1, if I get a turn, I can daze. No, you don't get the daze. Here's a Chalice. And it looks like Craig does have Force Will. So, yeah, pick up the hand with Force Will, as he should on the draw, in our opinion. Removes Ponder, and now we get to move along. And drew Force Will for the turn.
Very solid opening hand here. If he has a threat card, another blue card to pair with his Force of Will, it's about all you can ask for.
Nimble Mongoose off of a tropical island. That's where Bargo will begin. 2 cards in the graveyard already. 5 to go to make it a 3-3. Now we're going to go Andrew's way. Mountain the draw. Does he have anything explosive to do on this turn? That's sort of explosive. Sandstone Needle.
Well, the rest of Heiser's hand appears to be nonsense. I believe there's a Simian Spirit Guide, an Emrakul, a Grizzlebrand, and some lands.
The deck can get some disjointed draws. Another Simian Spirit Guide has shown up.
Whatever, it's the biggest thing on the table if he casts it.
A new strategy.
Plan B. Plan F.
Yeah.
Wait, you're saving it up to cast Emrakul? I don't think so.
Well, here's Simian Spirit Guide. That'll put the brakes on the Nimble Mongoose, I suppose. Bargo, I think, has a... Oh, boy. Is he going to dismember? Oh, my goodness. Yes. Dismember on Simian Spirit Guide. I've now seen it all. Get that thing out of the way. I guess Dismember on Infernal Titan would have really been something.
Need some help.
Well, you block or whatever. Better than nothing. Gets the job done. No, Mongoose going to come across for one. I'm out in the draw here for Heiser. Might be time for a second Simian Spirit Guide. Oh, yeah.
Test spelled him the first time.
If he's going to dismember the first one, I'm playing the second one.
Looks like Bargo just committed here to sitting on Force of Will plus blue card. He's got Delver in his hand. I'm sure if he would like to add to his clock here. If he draws another blue card, he might cast the Delver and then leave Force of Will plus that blue card back.
Here comes Nimble Mongoose. 4 cards in the graveyard. Scalding Tarn the land for the turn. I'm out in the draw here for Andrew. 7 mana, just saying.
Approaching.
I think Bargo may have drawn another blue card finally. So perhaps he can deploy that Delver now. We'll see. First things first. Well, Mongoose coming in. There's a Delver. Andrew, City of Traders.
If you're counting for Emrakul as Seething Song, City of Traders, the leftover, I guess we're getting kind of close.
We're getting close-ish. Here's Flusterstorm. Right now, with Seething Song and City of Traders, we're at 12. We're 12. 3 to go.
But not that much time. You know, Heiser here is going to probably die inside of that window.
There's not a ton of time left. Here come the beatdowns. Heiser going to fall down to 8. Another mountain. 13. Not sure there's going to be enough time. Kind of want to cast the Seething Song now.
Just test the waters.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably doesn't get countered, but...
It's too embarrassing if Bargo goes okay, and then you go okay. Especially since there is some chance here that Heiser could get to 15 mana inside the allotted time. I think if he draws another Seething Song, there's at least hope, right? That's another +2. He's got
That's
play in his
+2.
hand.
Okay, all right.
So no reason just to fire it off, just to see how Bargo reacts.
All right, another Seething Song does get you to 15. It does get you to 15. You are correct. Oh, jeez.
He could sense that Heiser was hitting a critical amount of mana. Nip that right in the bud.
Wasteland to take care of the Sandstone Needle. It was another Seething Song, too. Come on. Come on.
Oh, man. Day late, $1 short.
Boo. Boo. Craig Bargo going to win this match here over Andrew Heiser. 2 games to 1. Team Red Devil will take care of Mono Red Sneak Attack. those are the highs and the lows of Mono Red Sneak Attack. You see some really impressive stuff game number 1. You see him present to Chalice on the play game number 3. It got force willed, and the house of cards kind of crumbled.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the openings that this deck gets, if the opponent isn't playing with Force of Will, doesn't happen to have Force of Will in the opening hand, they're going to win the game on turn 1 effectively a good percentage of the time. Bargo was able to Force of Will there, and, you know, the leftovers in Heiser's hand weren't enough to get him anywhere. And that's the consequence of playing Mono Red instead of something like Blue Red Sneak Attack. You're without Brainstorm and Ponder. You don't really want to play those cards alongside Chalice of the Void. And then if your opening burst gets deflected, sometimes your hand is just, you know, Seething Songs and Emrakuls.
Yeah, you're just